Welcome to our Q&A practice. Let's get started with this deposition. And it looks like it's mostly questioning by the plaintiff attorney. Defense pops in every once in a while. Okay, here we go. Can you please state and spell your name for the record? Mark Grath, M-A-R-K, capital G-R-A-T-H. Mr. Grath, have you ever had your deposition taken before? Yes. On how many occasions? Maybe 8. So you've had a few, more than a few. Do you remember when the last one was? How long ago? Yeah, it was probably maybe 4 or 5 months ago. It wasn't that long ago, but I think I'll just still briefly go over some of the admonitions for your benefit. I'm sure you've heard them before, but I'll just put them on the record. Even though we are in the informal setting of my conference room here today, your testimony is under oath, the same as if you were testifying in a court of law. You understand that? Yes, I do. The lady seated to your right is our court reporter, and she's going to be taking down everything we say here today. So it is important that you speak in a loud, clear voice so she can hear you. And it is also important that you allow me to get my complete question out before you answer, and I'll allow you to answer my question before I go on to my next one, since she can only get down one of us talking at a time. Also, she can't take down slang such as uh-huh or huh-uh, so try to avoid using that if possible. We're going to be talking about an incident that happened in February of 2006, so it's been some time, and you may not recall some of the information I'm going to be asking you for, but I am entitled to your best estimate. We don't, however, want you to guess at anything. Do you understand the difference between a guess and an estimate? Yes. Okay. If you don't understand one of my questions, let me know and I'll rephrase it. If you don't hear it, let me know and I'll go ahead and repeat it for you. Okay? Okay. If you don't indicate otherwise, I'll assume that you've heard and understood it. If at any time you need a break, let me know and we'll go ahead and stop, but I don't really think we'll be here that long. We'll probably get through this pretty quickly. At the conclusion of your deposition, as you know, you're going to get a chance to review your deposition testimony, which will be transcribed into booklet form, such as this. Even though you can make changes, I do have to remind you that any substantive changes can be commented upon by counsel at the time of trial, and that could adversely affect your credibility. So with that in mind, we just ask that you kind of give us your best testimony here today, okay? I'll try. Have you had any drugs or alcohol in the past 24 hours? No. Have you reviewed any documents in preparation for your deposition here today? Yes. And what have you reviewed? We have OCFIRS report, which is a computer-generated report. What did you call it? OCFIR? OCFIRS. It's the Orange County Fire Incident Report, OCFR. Okay. And I also have with me a CAD report, computer-aided dispatch report, that gives me the times on the call and the type of call. And then our PCR, which is our pre-hospital care report, which is what we fill out at the time of the incident. So it sounds like there's 3 different types of reports here. Yes. And so what I'm going to do is mark them as all separate exhibits. The officers' OCFRs, we'll mark that as Exhibit 1. David, since you have that copy, I'm going to throw these down to you. Sure. Oops, sorry about that. That's fine. And then the CAD report will be Exhibit 2, and the PCR report will be Exhibit 3. Did you review any other documents in preparation for your deposition? No, but I talked to my partner, Bob Spinell, or my old partner, Bob Spinell, and I also consulted with a couple of the guys at the station that I ran the call with too. Okay, who else did you, what other guys at the station did you consult with? Kevin Kinney and Joe Booth. They also responded to the call. Yes, you said Joe Booth? Booth, B-O-O-T-H-E. Okay, are Kevin and Joe paramedics or just firefighters? They're firefighters. Actually, Joe remembered the most about the call also. Okay, I'm going to definitely go over with you what it is that you guys discussed, but I just have a couple background questions first. Kevin and Joe would not have rendered any medical aid or treatment to the plaintiff, is that correct? Yes, they would have. Oh, they would have? What kind of training do they have? Are they EMTs? They're EMTs, yes. Are their names anywhere on any of the 3 reports that we've just, yes, referred to? The OCFR's report, second page, Captain Sherwood, Engineer Joe Booth or Joseph Booth, and firefighter Kevin Kinney are the members of Engine 5. Is there a difference between an engineer and a firefighter? Engineer is responsible for driving the engine and on fires, pumping fires. And who was the engineer? Joseph. Joe Booth, yes. And would Joe have rendered any care in his capacity as an engineer that, yes, that night he would have? And then Kevin was working as a firefighter and EMT, yes. And how about your captain? Did you say Jerry Sherwood was the captain? Yes, he was working overtime that day, so I haven't had a chance to talk to him. The only time that you would have talked to these other people that responded to the scene, strike that. That's a bad question. You mentioned that you talked to Kevin and Joe. That was because you had your deposition coming up? Yes. Is it generally your custom and practice, or the custom and practice with the Orange County Fire Department, to talk about incidents after you come back from a call for any particular reason? It's not customary, no, but you guys sometimes just talk about it, sometimes at the dinner table, okay, but It's not something that you sit down and you talk about in conjunction with preparing any of your reports. Is that no? Okay, let me just backtrack a little bit. You're currently employed, is that correct? Yes. With the Orange County Fire Authority? Yes. How long have you been with them? Little over 8 years now. What is your current position there? I'm a firefighter paramedic. At the time of the incident that we're going to be discussing in February of 2006, you were also a firefighter paramedic? Yes. How long have you been a firefighter paramedic for the Orange County Fire Authority? 7.5 years. What did you start off as? A firefighter. Okay, and then after about 6 months, they activated me. I was a paramedic before I was a firefighter. All right, well, that will conclude our Q&A practice. Thank you.